A young woman sits alone in her room, surrounded by an array of screens, each displaying a curated feed of other people's lives. Her eyes are red and puffy from staring at them for hours. But still she cannot tear herself away. She's not checking for notifications or messages, because there aren't any. She's just looking for herself. She wants to know if she measures up. Her name is Snow White, and this is her story. Once upon a time, not so long ago, in a realm called reality, far away from wicked stepmothers, lived a girl named Snow White. Not for her complexion, though it was white as snow, nor for her lips, which were red as blood, nor even for her hair, which shone as dark as ebony. No, Snow White was known for her heart, for in the vast kingdom of reality, where everyone went about their days, chasing after what they thought would make them happy, Snow White always seemed to know who she was and why she was here. But then came the day when Snow White wasn't sure anymore. You see, in reality, everyone is judged by how many likes, comments, and followers they get. And lately Snow White's numbers weren't growing like the others. So she did what anyone else would do. She spent hours looking at the lives of other people, trying to figure out what she was doing wrong. She scrolled through the pages of those whose lives seemed better than hers, comparing their achievements, their relationships, and their looks to her own. And the more she looked, the less she liked what she saw, because every time she opened an app, it felt like she was opening a wound that told her she wasn't beautiful enough, successful enough, or interesting enough. She was drowning in a sea of other people's lives, and her own was slipping away. Then one afternoon, Snow White decided she couldn't take it anymore. She deleted all the apps from her phone, blocked the websites she used to frequent, and fled her home, running deeper and deeper into the woods, away from the noise, away from the judgment, away from everything. And there, amidst the towering trees and chirping birds, Snow White stumbled upon a clearing. In the middle sat 7 tiny houses. They looked like little birds' nests, each unique yet cozy. And standing by the largest one was a man with a bushy beard and a warm smile. He introduced himself as Doc, the guardian of the forest, and when he heard Snow White's tale, he invited her to stay with him and his 6 brothers. Snow White accepted his offer, hoping to find peace in the tranquility of nature. But soon she realized living with the 7 dwarfs was not easy either. Each one of them had a different personality, different needs, and different expectations. The first one was grumpy. He complained constantly about everything. Sleepy wanted to sleep all the time. Happy was in a good mood all the time. Dopey didn't speak much, but when he did, it was to ask for something. Sneezy sneezed non-stop, making it hard to focus. And Bashful was too shy to talk to anyone, especially Snow White. It was only Doc who made an effort to understand her, to help her adjust to her new life in the woods. He listened patiently to her stories, sharing words of wisdom whenever she felt down. And slowly but surely, Snow White began to feel lighter. The silence of the forest was soothing, and the company of the dwarfs, though peculiar, was comforting. Then one evening, while Snow White was helping the dwarfs cook dinner, she heard a knock on the door. She opened it to find a stranger standing before her. His clothes were fine, and his eyes were sharp, like a hawk's. He introduced himself as Prince Charming, a visitor from the neighboring kingdom. And when he learned that Snow White was staying at the dwarf's cottage, he offered to take her back home. At first Snow White refused. She was enjoying her life in the woods, or at least she thought she was. But then Prince Charming persisted, telling her that he knew her story and that he wanted to help. He promised to protect her from the evils of reality and give her a life filled with luxury and love. And just like that, Snow White agreed to go back. When they arrived at her house, Prince Charming led her through a maze of corridors, until they reached the throne room. Sitting on a golden chair was the Queen, Snow White's mother. She was pale and frail, but when she saw Snow White, her face lit up with joy. "My darling, you're back," she cried, pulling Snow White into a tight hug. "I was so worried you wouldn't come home." After the Queen left, Prince Charming turned to Snow White and said, "You must be exhausted. Let's get you to bed." He led her to a room filled with dresses, jewels, and makeup. "Here, put this on. You'll look beautiful." Snow White hesitated, remembering the reason she had left. But Prince Charming didn't care. He helped her dress and undress, do her makeup, and fix her hair, all the while talking about how lucky she was to have him. And just as he leaned in to kiss her, Snow White stopped him. "Wait, I need to tell you something." Prince Charming's face fell. "What is it?" "I don't remember who I am," Snow White whispered. "I don't remember why I'm here." Prince Charming's eyes widened in horror. He had never met a princess who didn't want his kiss. But then he remembered why he had come. Snow White needed help, real help. So he took her hand and said, "Come with me, I'll show you." He led her to a large mirror on the wall and asked, "Tell me what you see." "Myself," said Snow White. "But there's nothing there. I see emptiness." Prince Charming smiled sadly. "That's because you've forgotten who you are. But don't worry, I'll help you remember." He kissed Snow White on the cheek, then on the lips, then on the neck. And with each kiss, Snow White felt a part of herself coming back. She felt beautiful, desired, important. And as Prince Charming held her close, she knew she was finally home. The end. Once upon a time, in a distant land, lived a girl named Snow White. She wasn't known for her skin, lips, or hair, but for her spirit. In a world obsessed with looks and status, Snow White's inner beauty set her apart. But one day, overwhelmed by the constant comparisons and judgments, she fled to a magical forest. There she encountered 7 dwarfs who became her guardians, each representing a different aspect of her personality. While staying with the dwarfs, Snow White learned the importance of self-acceptance and inner beauty. However, the allure of her former life and the promise of a better future tempted her to return. With the help of a dashing prince, she navigated the complexities of her past and rediscovered her true identity. In the end, Snow White understood that true beauty comes not from external validation, but from embracing and loving oneself from within. So the question is, do you think Snow White made the right decision by going back with the prince? Or do you think she should have stayed in the forest with the dwarves? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more captivating AI stories. Until next time, remember to stay curious and keep exploring the endless possibilities of artificial intelligence. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.